You lie still, your breath slow and steady, as we drift into the quiet heart of the quantum world. Beneath the calm of atoms, strange rules swirl like dreams. You begin to sense that emptiness is never truly empty. In the hush between heartbeats, something miraculous begins. The story of impossible motion unfolds in the stillness. You are resting now. Your body softens into the mattress. Your breath settles into rhythm. The world grows dim around the edges, like the slow closing of a curtain. In this hush, there is space. In this space, there is quiet. And in the quiet, something stirs. You are not alone in this stillness. Inside you, beneath skin and bone, beyond muscle and blood, a world hums so small, so hidden, it almost escapes knowing. Yet it is there, always moving, always whispering. The quantum world is not far away. It is within you. You are made of it. Let's drift into that realm together. Imagine zooming in not with your eyes, but with your awareness. Past cells, past molecules, past atoms. Past even the nucleus, past the orbiting shell of electrons. Now, everything blurs. Things are no longer solid. There is no edge, no sharp outline. The world you knew dissolves into something softer, stranger. This is the beginning of quantum space. It is not dark, not empty, not truly. Even what we once called nothing is teeming with gentle motion. A restless dance plays out here in silence. Particles flicker into being and vanish again. They do not move the way marbles do. They do not obey the rules of the large. Here, the rules are dreams wrapped in numbers. You might picture it like mist wisps of energy curling in every direction. But that too is only a metaphor. Because here, even direction can lose meaning. You try to focus on one particle, but it slips away not out of sight, but out of definition. Where is it? It's not here and not there, but both. It is spread out like a possibility smeared across a canvas. This is the truth of the quantum. Nothing is ever only one thing. It is a world of maybes. And in this cloud of maybes, something peculiar happens. A kind of whisper moves through the void. A quiet suggestion, not loud like thunder, not bold like lightning, just the softest allowance. A gentle nod from the universe that says, you may go where you should not. You may move without moving. You may be where you are not supposed to be. This is the whisper of tunneling. But we are not there quite yet. First, rest here in the heart of the atom. The particles you find here are not like pebbles. They are waves, or sometimes waves pretending to be particles. Or perhaps they are both or neither. They ripple, they interfere, they cancel and amplify. They pass through slits like water, yet strike detectors like bullets. They are mystery woven into law. And yet there is order, strange order, but order nonetheless. These particles don't wander without reason. They follow patterns, probabilities that paint pictures over time. And if you step back far enough, those pictures begin to make sense. The randomness becomes rhythm. The chaos becomes a kind of music. You are floating now in this invisible ocean. Let yourself drift. There is no danger here, only wonder. The more you let go, the clearer it becomes. The space is not dead. It is alive with potential. You begin to understand something profound. Emptiness is not absence. It is fullness waiting to be named. Every corner of this void hums with energy that has not yet become form. In physics, they call it the quantum vacuum. But to you, lying still and open, it feels like something sacred, like silence that listens. You ask yourself, how can something come from nothing? And here's the answer, soft as breath. Because nothing is never truly nothing. Even in the coldest, quietest space, there are fluctuations, tiny pulses of energy arising from the vacuum. Virtual particles appear and disappear so quickly they are almost imaginary. Yet their effects are real, like whispers between stars, like ripples on glass. They leave traces of their brief lives. These are the seeds of becoming. And from these seeds, the universe grows. Every particle in your body, every proton, every electron, every bit of mass and light emerge from this restless stillness. The atoms that make your hands once swam in the bellies of stars. But before that, they too were born from a formless churn. It is a slow, cosmic exhale, a patience that creates all things. And it is not over, not finished. Even now, beneath you, within you, this breath continues. This moment is not static, it is a process, unfolding in layers too small to see, too delicate to grasp. You are not lying still. You are part of a motion deeper than motion, a hush deeper than silence. The quantum world is not separate from the world you know. It is its foundation, its quiet bedrock. Every solid thing is built on a dance of uncertainties. Every law you trust is softened at the edges. That is not failure. That is grace. It means there is room for change, for transformation, for magic. You begin to sense the first edge of that magic, the idea that a particle might go somewhere there's no energy to reach. A barrier might stop in our visible world, but in this one, the rules bend, not break, never break, just soften. And in that softening, something miraculous begins. This is the stage upon which quantum tunneling will unfold, a stage made not of stone or wood, but of chance and vibration, of permission and curiosity. The wall will come later, the motion, too. But for now, you rest in this knowing. The rules of this world are not rigid. They are subtle. They hum rather than shout. You're falling gently now, not asleep yet, but deeper into the cradle of science's most mysterious truths. No longer just a listener, but a participant. Your thoughts stretch into the spaces between particles. You begin to feel what it means to exist not in one place, but many, to be both wave and witness, to be still and still be moving. The void hums, the particles shimmer, the silence sings with possibility. You are ready to follow the motion that comes next, not from force, but from permission, not from power, but from gentleness. The kind of motion that should not be possible, yet is. And so, in the next breath, you will meet the smallest dancers. Not solid, not certain, but always moving. They do not obey our rules, but they follow their own. Let's find out where they go when no one is watching. Your body, resting now, is built from particles that hum and shimmer. They don't stay still, they dance, they blur, they flicker in and out. Here, certainty dissolves like mist at dawn. Tonight, you'll learn to see motion where there is stillness. You're still lying down, weightless in your own quiet world. The blanket folds around you like a gentle shell, and your breath flows slow and smooth, like ripples across a pond. On the outside, everything is still, but beneath that calm, inside your very being, a dance has begun. Every cell in your body is built from atoms, and every atom is built from smaller things, protons and neutrons in the center, and electrons moving somewhere around them. But that's just the beginning. These pieces are not chunks or beads. They are not tiny planets circling a sun. That image is only a shadow, an echo of something stranger. You imagine an electron. You try to picture it circling the nucleus like a moon. The electron does not spin in a neat path. It does not have a location you can point to. Instead, it exists as a cloud, a haze of possibility, a swirl of maybe. Where is it? That is the wrong question. In the world, things are not where they are. They are where they might be. The electron could be close, or it could be far, or it could be everywhere in between. It exists in many places at once, in a soft blur of potential. Only when you truly look, does it seem to choose a spot. And even then, It's as if your gaze has collapsed the mist into form. But remove your gaze and the mist returns. This is not a failure of science. This is the beauty of it. A particle is not just a particle. It is a wave, a ripple in a field, a shape formed by math and mystery. It has no edge, no boundary, no definite place. It has only a rhythm, and that rhythm dances. Electrons do not rest. Even in the coldest place, even at absolute zero, they still tremble. They cannot help it. That trembling is built into them. It is not a sign of life, but perhaps it is a kind of life, a promise that even in stillness, there is motion. You are made of this. You are built from waves that never sleep. Imagine standing on a dark lake, completely still, but beneath your feet, ripples move outward in all directions. You did not throw a stone. Nothing touched the surface. Yet the water moves. The same is true inside your body. You lie still, but your particles are never silent. They shimmer. They pulse. They move in patterns no eye can trace. Now, picture an orchestra, no conductor, no sheet music, just instruments tuned to each other, playing softly beneath the threshold of sound. That is your body. That is your atoms. That is the invisible harmony within you. Even when you sleep, they play. We call this quantum motion, a restlessness baked into the very laws of existence. It is not noise. It is not chaos. It is rhythm too fast, too soft, too small to see. But it is there. The electrons move. The protons wobble. The fields hum. You do not command it. You cannot feel it. But without it, you would vanish. Now, let's follow the steps of this dance. In classical physics, the world of large things objects sit still when no force pushes them. A book stays on a table. A rock stays in your hand. But in the quantum world, stillness is never absolute. Even trapped in a tight space, an electron cannot stop. It buzzes, sways, flickers from one energy level to another, like music skipping notes in a strange key. It doesn't climb or fall as we do. It jumps. We call these quantum jumps transitions from one energy level to another without crossing the space in between, like vanishing from one stair and appearing on the next without touching any of the steps, not because the electron is cheating, but because the steps themselves are made of rules that bend like branches in the wind. These transitions are not wild or reckless. They are precise, governed by probabilities, likelihoods, the mathematics of maybe. If you ask when it will jump, no answer is certain. If you ask where it will be, no answer is final. You only get shades of possibility, a fog of outcomes. You lie still now, but your mind moves. Think of all those electrons inside your body, each one humming in orbit, each one fluttering between energy levels, each one smeared across time and space. Every breath you take sends ripples through this sea. Every heartbeat stirs waveforms, slightly, gently, like wind over leaves. And in that wave is identity. Your body is made of atoms, but your atoms are made of motion. You are not a solid object. You are a pattern, a process, a choreography of probabilities. Your cells are small cities of rhythm and flux, built from quantum particles that refuse to settle. And those things, they obey strange rules. They can interfere with each other. Their waves can overlap like two notes that amplify or cancel each other out. Two particles can become entangled, bound across distance, so that changing one instantly changes the other. It's not magic, it's just how the universe whispers across the void. Particles can even behave differently depending on whether you watch them. This is the strange poetry of observation, the idea that the act of watching can change what is real. If no one looks, the particle is many possibilities. But when you observe, it becomes one. The wave collapses. The dance chooses a pose. It is as if the universe leaves room for curiosity. This does not mean the world is unreal. It means the world is subtle. It means reality is more than shape and color. It is interaction, attention, and chance. You are not separate from the world you see. You are part of the seeing. Your very awareness is stitched into the fabric of what becomes real. So tonight, as you breathe softly and the world drifts farther away, remember this. You are not a fixed point. You are a flowing pattern, a shimmering lattice of probabilities, a wave riding a deeper wave. Your thoughts, too, are particles in motion. Your memories, ripples in time. Even your dreams are built on the uncertain steps of electrons that jump without warning. You are a dance within a dance. And where there is dancing, there is always the chance, however small, that something impossible might happen, that a particle might find itself somewhere new, not by breaking through a wall, but by slipping quietly around it, that a motion, forbidden in a large world, might still come to pass in the small one. That is the next part of our story. But for now, float in this rhythm. Let your thoughts dissolve into waveforms. Let your breath become part of the quantum sea. And let the motion inside you cradle your dreams. Somewhere in this silent dance, a particle approaches a wall it should not cross. And yet, in the soft rules of this quantum world, it disappears from one side and appears on the other. Imagine a marble rolling toward a hill it cannot climb. Yet, in the quantum world, the marble may vanish from one side and appear on the other. A wall, impassable in our waking world, becomes soft and ghost-like in theirs. You drift with a particle that slips through the forbidden. A rebellion, gentle and silent, takes form. You lie still, your breath deep and slow, as the hush of night folds around you, the warmth of the blanket, the softness of silence. It all becomes a cradle for the drifting. You are weightless now, nestled in the space between waking and sleep, between knowing and wondering. Your body rests, but your mind journeys on. Let's imagine something simple. Picture a marble, small and smooth, rolling across a table. It gathers speed. Ahead of it, there's a low hill, a small rise in surface. The marble tries to roll up, but it doesn't have enough energy. It slows. It stops. It rolls backward, defeated by the slope. In the world you know, that is the end of the story. The marble cannot climb a hill taller than the push it was given. It cannot pass through a wall made of stone. It must obey the boundaries. It must yield to the rules. But now let's go smaller. Let's let go of gravity and friction and the rules of the large. Let's dive again into the quantum world, the world where size bends reality, where chance replaces certainty. Imagine a particle, a tiny speck, smaller than anything your eye can see. It, too, moves with energy. It, too, encounters a wall or region where, by all classical logic, it should stop. And yet, it doesn't. The particle approaches. It slows, just like the marble, but then, instead of bouncing back, it fades, not away, but forward. It vanishes on one side of the wall and appears impossibly on the other. It never climbed. It never broke through. It simply moved, as if the barrier were no more than a breeze. This is quantum tunneling. It is not a trick. It is not a mistake. It is real, a measured, repeated, reliable phenomenon, and it defies everything the waking world tells you about motion. So how does it happen? The answer lies in the nature of the particle itself. You remember, it is not a point. It is not a thing in one place. It is a wave, a spread-out smudge of possibility, like ink blooming in water. When this wave reaches a barrier, something strange occurs. Part of it reflects, but part of it leaks through, not because the particle has smashed its way across, but because the wave that describes it never stops completely. Even within the wall, even where it has no right to exist, the wave is not zero. It dwindles, yes, but it still survives. And on the other side, if the wall is thin enough, narrow enough, that little leftover wave, faint and ghostly, can reemerge. It becomes real again. The particle is found there, whole and unchanged, as if the wall never truly stood in its way. You are still, but your thoughts move with it. You feel the strange grace of this defiance, not loud, not angry, not forced, just quiet permission, as though the laws of the universe contain, hidden in their folds, a softness, a clause that reads, under special circumstances, even the impossible may be allowed. Let this idea settle in you like warmth. A wall that should be absolute becomes only probable. A barrier that should be final becomes permeable in the right light. This is not magic. It is math. It is reality, just a different kind. And it happens all around you. Even inside scanning devices, medical machines, solar panels, the effect is harnessed, tamed. Technology that sees inside your body or turns sunlight into current relies on the silent transit. But tonight, you are not a machine. You are the traveler. Let yourself become the particle. You approach the wall, one that your energy cannot surmount. You are told to stop. Every law of the large world says you must go no further. But you are not only particle. You are wave, and waves do not end neatly. They decay, they bleed, they stretch into forbidden places. So you stretch, too. You push not with strength, but with presence. You exist where you should not. You do not ask permission. You simply allow the rules to reveal their quiet mercy. And you appear on the other side, not broken, not burned, not split. Oh, not domination, but softness. It is not a hammer against the wall. It is a shadow slipping through stone. And it speaks to something deeper in you. How many walls have you encountered in your life? How many moments have you stood before something unmoving, an obstacle too wide, too tall, too impossible? And yet, somehow, you move through it, not by breaking it, not by climbing it, but by softening, by allowing yourself to be more wave than stone. Tunneling is not just a particle's journey. It is a metaphor tucked gently into physics, a reminder that even limits can shimmer, that rules, when examined closely, carry within them the seeds of their own flexibility. Now you return to the image. The marble still rolls on the table. It still fails to climb the hill. But in the quiet world beneath, the particle does not stop. The wave continues. The universe allows it. Because at the smallest scale, possibility is more real than certainty. There's a kind of peace in that, the peace of knowing that nature, in her deepest places, does not favor rigidity. She favors chance. She favors softness. She favors motion, not always forward, not always visible, but persistent, quiet, certain in its uncertainty. You feel this as you lie still, the weight of your own body sinking into the sheets. You, too, are made of waves. You, too, carry particles that slip through barriers each day. You do not feel it, but you are a creature of defiance, a being of quiet crossings. In your breath, tunneling. In your cells, tunneling. In your thoughts, the same. You are the marble, but you are also the wave. This night, something inside you becomes freer. You do not need to force yourself through every obstacle. Sometimes presence is enough. Sometimes staying soft is the bravest path. Sometimes the wall is thinner than it seems. And when it is you pass through, you move forward not by will, but by the strained permission granted by the universe itself. Let that permission rest inside you now. Let it soften your fear of barriers. Let it hold you, because in the chapters ahead, we will explore why this permission exists, why nature allows these exceptions, why the stars themselves rely on tunneling to shine. But for now, you drift on the edge of the impossible, wrapped in the certainty of uncertainty. floating in the gentle truth that walls are not always as solid as they seem. You slip through the wall, not by breaking it, but by never fully being stopped. And in that blur, you discover that where something is never quite as certain as it seems. In this realm, nothing is fixed, only likely, only maybe. You feel the fuzziness wrap around your thoughts like a gentle fog. A particle is not a point, but a cloud of perhaps. It may tunnel because it isn't just here, it's everywhere. Let your mind soften and follow the probabilities. The wall is behind you now, though you never truly broke through it. You simply allowed yourself to exist in places the old rules said you could not. And now, you find yourself surrounded by mist, not the damp mist of early mornings or forest trails. This fog isn't cold or what it's made of maybes, a soft cloud of possibilities, hovering not in the air, but in the very rules of reality. You feel it, even as you lie still in your bed. Your thoughts grow quiet, not gone, just diffused, not vanished, just ungraspable, like dew slipping through fingers. This fog is a space between knowing and not knowing, and it is where the quantum world lives. Here, things are no longer where they are. They are where they might be, not because they're hiding, not because we can't find them, but because their very nature is probability. You imagine a particle again not as a dot, not as a bee, but as a cloud, a swelling, shimmering cloud of perhaps. It is here, but also a little there. Its presence is smeared out, like candlelight across a wall. You try to see it clearly, but the more tightly you grip, the more it escapes. That's not your failure. That is its truth. In classical physics, certainty reigns. A ball has a position. A train has a speed. The moon circles with exactness. But in the quantum realm, certainty dissolves into mist. You cannot know a particle's position and its speed with perfect clarity. This is not about blurry tools or bad vision. It's not about instruments or measurement. It's about reality itself refusing to stand still. This is the uncertainty principle. The more precisely you try to pin down a particle's location, the more wildly its momentum blurs. Try to grasp its speed, and its place becomes vague, not by accident, by design. It is as though the universe is telling you. You may look, but not hold. You may glimpse, but not trap. Let that idea drift inside you. Maybe you've tried to hold on to things in life, certainty, control, answers, but the more tightly you've gripped them, the more they've slipped away. Perhaps this is not a flaw. Perhaps this is the fog doing what it must. In the quantum world, fuzziness is not confusion. It is structure. It is the soft pattern underneath hard definitions. You picture a particle again, poised near a barrier. Its energy says it should stay on this side, but its cloud of possibilities stretches through, because it is not a single point. It is a wave of where it could be, and part of that wave lands beyond the wall. That's why it tunnels, not because it forced its way through, but because it was already partially there. Do you see? Tunneling is not a leap. It's not teleportation. It's a natural unfolding of a being that is never just one place. Let that float through you. You are the same. Your thoughts, your hopes, your memories. They don't live in one sharp corner. They live in a soft field around you. You remember moments in fragments. You plan the future in sketches. You feel more than you define. You, too, are a cloud of perhaps. And in that fog, there's movement. The particle doesn't bounce around randomly. Its behavior follows beautiful rules, just not ones of certainty. Instead of saying yes or no, quantum rules say maybe here, maybe then, with this chance. Probabilities swirl around each possibility. They form a shape, a wave function. The wave function is a whisper of potential. It tells us where a particle might be found, how likely it is to be in a place, how likely it is to act, to tunnel, to change. But until we observe it, it stays in that fog, not undecided, but uncollapsed. To observe is to collapse the wave function, to pin it down, to take one path from the many. But before we do, it is all paths. It is every outcome humming in parallel. That hum is not chaos. It is elegance. It's the beauty of watching all that could be. Before anything must be, there's a quiet power in that. Now you rest in it. Let your thoughts expand. Don't try to solve the world. Don't try to define your shape tonight. Let yourself be soft around the edges. Like the particle, let yourself drift through possibility. Maybe you are not just a person who had a hard day. Maybe you are also the one who healed, the one who will rise, the one who is becoming. You are not one thing. You are a fog of futures, a sea of outcomes waiting to unfold. Tunneling is just one path. A particle might reflect off the wall. It might stay where it is. It might tunnel through. All are possible. The wave holds them all. It is only when the moment comes, when the measurement is made, that the wave chooses. Until then, it is poetry, not sentence, not period, just a rhythm. You lie in bed now, cradled by that rhythm. Your breath matches the pulse of perhaps. You feel your own atoms humming in clouded motion. The mattress beneath you is not solid, not truly. It is a field of probability. Just like you, the world rests on particles that aren't fully here, and yet are fully real. The more you let go of needing certainty, the more real this world becomes. Real, not because it's sharp, but because it includes everything. Not either slash or, but yes slash and. Here, contradictions coexist. Here, a particle is wave and point. Here, motion happens without moving. Here, things pass through walls not because they are powerful, but because they are spread wide enough. And you can be too. You can be here, resting, and also growing, also healing, also becoming something new. You don't need to collapse into one version of yourself. Tonight, you are the wave function. You are the gentle fog of who you might be. Let the mist cradle you. Let the uncertainty be comfort, not threat. The world was never meant to be rigid. It was always meant to shimmer. And in that shimmer, you find peace. Because tomorrow you may take a new path. Not by breaking down the walls of life, but by realizing you were never just one place to begin with. But why does the universe allow this shimmer? Why this softness in its structure? Why permit motion that seemed forbidden? Next, we'll listen not just to the particles, but to the quiet reason the universe whispers in every defiance. Why would the universe allow particles to defy its own rules? We listen to the whisper of energy, the sigh of space-time. Quantum tunneling is not cheating, it's a permission quietly given. It is how stars shine and how life blooms. Even in the smallest defiance, there is purpose. You're resting deeper now. The world beyond your walls has faded into hush. Your thoughts have slowed, softened. Each breath pulls you further into the stillness between moments. And yet, somewhere inside you, a question lingers. Why? Why would the universe make room for such quiet defiance? Why allow particles to slip through walls they shouldn't cross? Why permit movement without force, presence without certainty? Is tunneling simply an accident of quantum rules? A loophole in the fabric of physics? Or is it something more? Tonight, we listen, not just to particles and waves, but to the whisper of meaning behind them. You drift now through a deeper silence, not the silence of absence, but of presence that asks nothing in return. In that silence, the universe hums, not loudly, not like a shout, but like a breath drawn between stars, a sigh carried across the fabric of time. Let's begin there with the fabric itself. Space-time. It sounds like something stiff and precise, but it is not. It stretches, it bends, it sways, and energy moves across it not always by force, but by permission. Quantum tunneling isn't a mistake. It is allowed deliberately, gently by the laws of nature. The universe doesn't shout its secrets. It whispers them. And if you listen now, if you quiet yourself even more, you may hear the reason why. In the heart of every rule, there is a rhythm, a grace, not harsh, but tender. Particles tunnel not to break the rules, but because the rules contain softness. They allow the improbable to blossom, because sometimes improbability is exactly what is needed. Without tunneling, the stars would go dark. That alone is reason enough to marvel. But let's stay with the idea a little longer. A particle doesn't tunnel on command. It does so based on chance, based on potential, based on a wave that says, it's possible, not likely, but possible. And the universe permits it. This permission is not reckless. It is tightly woven into probability. It's measured, not wild, predictable in its unpredictability. You see, physics isn't just about limits. It's about boundaries with texture, edges that blur but don't vanish. Even the most rigid law in the quantum world is traced in chalk, not stone. You may ask, but why allow this at all? And here, the whisper becomes clearer, because creation depends on it. Tunneling is not a glitch. It's a mechanism, a bridge between what is and what might become. In the core of stars, protons positively charged and repelling one another should never get close enough to fuse. Their energy isn't enough to overcome the electric repulsion. And yet they do. Not often, not always, but enough because of tunneling. Because even when they shouldn't, the wave of their possibilities stretches through that wall. And sometimes, just sometimes, they appear together on the other side fused, transformed. And when that happens, light is born, heat radiates, the star shines. Without this quiet exception, the sun would be cold, the galaxies would sleep, life would never emerge. All because particles are allowed, not forced, but allowed to tunnel. You are breathing right now because of that. Your cells are warm. Your planet glows. Your story exists. This is the hidden generosity of the universe. It does not simply build a world of precision and permanence. It builds one of elegance and room. Room for the unlikely. Room for newness. Room for stars to burn and seeds to sprout. Life itself may owe its existence to this gentle rule, even in the tiny machines within your cells. Quantum tunneling plays a part. Enzymes shift. Electrons leap across spaces they shouldn't. Biology, like physics, listens to the whisper. The universe does not cheat. It breathes. It balances order with softness. Too much certainty, and nothing new could form. Too much chaos, and nothing could stay. Tunneling sits at the threshold, between what must happen and what might, between rule and release, between the known and the unknown. It is the universe's way of saying, there's more than one path. Perhaps that, too, is a lesson. Perhaps your own life has held walls, moments that looked impassable, days where energy ran out, dreams that stalled at the edge of reality. And yet, here you are, still moving, still being, still glowing quietly, like a star that tunneled through its own limits. Because you, like those particles, are not bound by surface logic. You carry within you the quiet pattern of defiance, a softness that allows you to continue. You don't always need to push harder. Sometimes, the path forward lies in being present, in allowing your wave to stretch into the possible. This is not weakness. It is physics. The universe does not explode through every wall. It slips through gently, and when it does, light follows. So as you lie here now, wrapped in sleep's approach, you are not resting in silence alone. You are resting in permission, the same permission that lets stars shine, that lets electrons leap, that lets life become. Even defiance has purpose, even improbability has place. The whisper that flows through tunneling is not one of rebellion. It is one of trust. A trust that some things happen not because they must, but because they may. The cosmos trusts the improbable. It builds worlds on the edge of maybe. And maybe, so can you. That trust the one that fuels the stars, waits in the burning cores of suns, where particles tunnel not for wonder, but for fusion. Let's drift there now, into the warmth of the impossible made real. Deep inside the cores of stars, particles do what they shouldn't. The fires of the cosmos burn not from brute force, but from grace. Hydrogen becomes helium in a silent leap across the impossible. Without quantum tunneling, the stars would be cold. You rest in the warmth of the impossible made real. You are drifting now, slowly, like a leaf carried by a quiet stream. The night around you is thick with silence. Not heavy silence, gentle silence. A silence that wraps you without pressing. A silence that listens and waits. You breathe in and exhale softly. And in that breath, something begins to glow. Not in your room, not even in your mind, but somewhere much farther away. Out in the cosmos, past clouds, past planets, past time itself, there is a star. And at the very center of that star, beneath layers of light and fire, a miracle unfolds. Let's go there now. Not with rockets, not with engines, but by thought, by presence, by stillness. You travel not outward, but inward, and suddenly you are deep in the heart of the sun. It is not a place of light. Strangely, it is too dense here. The photons struggle to escape. The energy is thick, like honey that glows. You feel the pressure. Trillions of tons pressing inward. The weight of all the layers above, crushing down. And the heat is unimaginable. 15 million degrees. Enough to melt anything you've ever known, if melting even applies here. Atoms don't remain whole. Electrons are stripped away. What's left is a plasma, a soup of particles. Nuclei float freely, bare and buzzing, and they are mostly hydrogen. Simple. The first, each one a single proton, waiting. But waiting for what? To fuse, to become something more, to link arms with another and turn into helium. This is what powers the star. Fusion, a binding of two into one, a joining that releases energy pure and radiant. But there's a problem. These protons repel each other. They are both positively charged. They push away, like magnets turned the wrong way. The closer they get, the more they resist. A wall of force rises between them. And yet, fusion happens. The sun burns. The light reaches Earth. Your skin is warmed. Your food grows. How? Because of tunneling. Even here, in the heart of a star, where temperatures are beyond imagining, the particles still don't have enough energy on their own to break through the wall. By classical physics, fusion should be impossible. But we don't live in a classical world. We live in a quantum one. So imagine, again, two protons approaching each other. They get close, but not close enough. The barrier between them, the electric repulsion, is too high. They should bounce away. But instead, one disappears. Not into nothing, into somewhere else. It slips through the wall not by force, but by possibility. The wave of its presence stretches through. And on the other side, it arrives, where it meets another proton, not by chance, but by permission. They fuse. They become helium. And in doing so, they release energy. Energy that has traveled billions of years to reach your eyes. This is quantum tunneling in its grandest expression. It is how stars shine. It is how light is born. And it is not rare. It happens constantly. Every second, countless particles are tunneling in stars across the cosmos. The universe glows because of it, not from violence, not from explosions, but from the gentle unfolding of the improbable. That's the part to hold on to tonight. That deep inside the hottest, most violent place we know, it is softness that rules. It is not brute force that keeps the stars alive. It is grace. Tunneling reminds us that sometimes progress doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from allowing a wave to do what the particle cannot. It comes from existing not only here, but also there. The protons in the sun do not know they're becoming light. They are not trying. They are simply following the shape of what is allowed. And in that, miracles happen. So rest now, knowing you are warmed by this quiet defiance. Every sunrise is a celebration of particles that shouldn't have fused, but did. Every beam of light is a story of walls crossed without breaking. And you are made of that light. Your bones, your blood, your breath, all shaped by stars that burned long ago, stars that tunneled through their limits. The calcium in your teeth, the iron in your blood, the oxygen in your lungs, all forged in the bellies of stars that were once just clouds of hydrogen, waiting to become. And they became because of this, because of tunneling, because the universe makes space for the improbable. You feel that, don't you? Somewhere deep inside, the hum of it, the reminder that warmth does not always come from fire. Sometimes it comes from soft leaps, from the gentle yes that nature gives, even when everything else says no. So as you lie there, blanket pulled close, room dim and silent, know that you are resting in light that traveled years to reach you. Light born from a proton that whispered its way through a barrier, not because it could, but because it might. And that was enough. This is not superstition. This is physics, the mathematics of maybe, the geometry of grace, the architecture of motion that ignores hard edges. The sun shines not in spite of the odds, but because the odds make room. It is not a fire of certainty. It is a fire of chance, sustained by countless moments of quiet defiance. And each of those moments, every tunneling, every fusion, every leap through the forbidden, sends warmth out into space. That warmth reaches planets. That warmth reaches oceans. That warmth reaches you. Even now. So tonight, as you drift toward sleep, you are not just a resting body. You are a vessel for starlight. You are a continuation of fusion. You are proof that the improbable can become real, not through noise, but through a whisper. And if the stars rely on tunneling, what about you? What quiet crossings happen inside yourselves? Your breath, your heartbeat? Let's turn inward now and listen to the impossible within. Even inside you, the strange dance is playing out. Enzymes and electrons tunnel to keep your body alive. The spark of your breath, the calm of your pulse born from laws that bend. You are a miracle of soft defiance. In every heartbeat, 1,000 impossible journeys begin. You lie quietly now, nestled in warmth and near silence. The universe feels far away, and yet paradoxically closer than ever. You've drifted through stars. You've passed through quantum walls. And tonight, your journey brings you back home, into the body you've carried all along. You do not need to travel through galaxies to witness wonder. Wonder is here, in your chest, in your lungs, in the smallest folds of your living cells. You, too, are made of atoms. You, too, hum with the rhythms of quantum rules. And inside you, particles are tunneling this very moment. It begins in the breath. You inhale softly. Air slips down, invisible and light, until oxygen arrives where it is needed. Your cells take in that oxygen like a quiet gift, and from it, they make energy, not with hammers and heat, but with tiny, elegant machines. These machines are proteins, enzymes, and inside them, miracles happen. Let's slow down and watch one. Imagine a single electron. It is small beyond comprehension, a whisper of charge, a flicker of presence. It sits near a molecule in one part of the cell. Nearby, separated by a wall of energy, another molecule waits, ready to accept it. But the space between them is too far for a leap, and too small for classical motion. The electron should stay where it is. It does not have the energy to climb the hill between, and yet it disappears from one molecule and appears in the next. No violence, no effort, just a glide through forbidden, quantum tunneling. Here, in your cells. Here, where energy is passed, where breath becomes life. This is not rare. This happens countless times per second, in every cell, in every tissue. Even now as you rest, electron tunneling in biology isn't just real, it's essential. Your body relies on it. Your brain fires because of it. Your muscles contract. Your food digests. Your thoughts unfold. All thanks to the quiet probability of particles doing what they shouldn't. Think of an enzyme, a folded ribbon of atoms, shaped to perform one task with extraordinary precision. Its surface is smooth and structured, but deep within its clefts and pockets. Electrons tunnel between key sites. Distances too far for classical jumps become irrelevant in quantum space. You are made of these tiny journeys. You are kept alive by the unlikely. But it's more than electrons. Even protons tunnel in you. Hydrogen atoms, a single proton with an electron, can pass through energy barriers within your enzymes. This too is tunneling. This too keeps the engine of life humming. The process is delicate, but your body has evolved to harness it, to cradle the improbable, to lean on the rules of chance. It's strange to think about, isn't it? That life, this warm, breathing life you live, depends on uncertainty, on permission, on rules that blur and flex at the smallest scale. You've always heard that your body is a machine. And yes, it is built with astonishing precision. But machines made by humans have rigid gears, sharp corners, fixed paths. Your body is different. It is alive because it dances at the edge of possibility. It thrives in the realm where particles shimmer. It depends not on force, but on softness. And in that softness you survive. So as you lie here now, blanket over chest, heartbeat quiet and steady, know that each beat echoes with the steps of tunneling particles. Your cells are not static. They are living cities, each with walls, each with tunnels, each with hidden, flickering movements like stars inside skin. Your body glows, not visibly, not in light, but in motion, microscopic, improbable, constant. You are more than a mind in a vessel. You are a cathedral of quantum permission. Even your DNA, the long spiral of identity, sometimes allows protons to tunnel between bonds. This, too, plays a role in mutation, in change, in evolution. So tunneling doesn't just keep you alive. It helps you become. And maybe that's the deeper truth. Tunneling is not just about movement. It is about transformation, from oxygen to energy, from particle to wave, from moment to moment. It happens invisibly like most sacred things, not with fireworks, but with grace. You do not feel these shifts. You cannot see them, but they are always there, unfolding in your blood, whispering in your cells. This is the echo of the stars, now within you. Their fire born from fusion. Their fusion born from tunneling. Now mirrored in the breath you took just now. You are not separate from the cosmos. You are the cosmos, folded gently into human shape. Atoms that once danced in suns, now glide between your molecules. The same laws, the same strange allowances, now beating in your pulse. You are not an outsider to quantum wonder. You are its consequence. So rest easy tonight. Every part of you knows how to tunnel, how to slip through what seems impassable, how to make energy where none should be possible. You are not alive in spite of the improbable. You are alive because of it. And the best part? You never had to earn it. The permission was always there. Even defiance follows rules. And the tunneling inside you is no exception. Let's wander now into the math that sings, into the strange structure that allows softness to stay within bounds. Laws still hold, but they are more like melodies and iron bars. Even rebellion follows a rhythm, a kind of grace. Tunneling is strange, but not lawless. It is written into the code. We drift tonight into the mathematics that hum beneath dreams, where order embraces uncertainty like old friends. You lie so still now, your breath like the tide, slow, rising, falling. Your body knows rest. Your thoughts begin to unhook from the day. And beneath that gentle stillness, something ancient is humming, a song you cannot hear with ears, a rhythm older than time, the laws of the universe. We've spoken of tunneling of particles slipping past barriers, of movement without force, a defiance that gives rise to stars and cells. But tonight we pause to ask, if particles break the rules, are there any rules at all? And the answer, whispered through the dark, is yes, but they are not the rules you may have imagined. They are not rigid, sharp-edged laws written in stone. They are soft rhythms, flexible structures, not like fences, more like music. Imagine now a violin string. When plucked, it vibrates in certain ways. It sings particular notes, not any sound, but those it is shaped to allow. Quantum particles are the same. They exist in patterns. They move according to probability. Not any path is possible, only the ones that fit the melody. You begin to understand. Tunneling doesn't ignore the laws of physics. It is part of them. It is written deep into the equations that describe our universe. It obeys rules, just unfamiliar ones. You recall the wave function, that shimmering field of maybe. It looks abstract in textbooks. A curve, a formula, a symbol, but it is real. It tells us where a particle is likely to be. It defines the shape of the fog, the density of the cloud. It doesn't predict with certainty, but it predicts with precision. That's the strange balance of quantum law. The outcome of one particle may be unpredictable, but the behavior of many particles is beautifully consistent. Like individual raindrops uncertain where they'll land. Yet rivers always flow downhill. This is statistical law. You may not know when one electron will tunnel, but across billions of them, patterns emerge. Reliable, elegant. This is not chaos. It is order with depth. Even uncertainty has boundaries. Even possibility has shape. The mathematics of quantum mechanics, soaring, abstract, mysterious, has been tested again and again. It predicts tunneling. It explains the behavior of atoms. It builds the foundation of lasers, computers, and clocks. So even as particles tunnel through walls, they are still following rules, just not the ones your everyday senses understand. They follow Schrodinger's equation, a formula so simple-looking, yet so rich. It holds the key to all quantum behavior. It describes how the wave function changes through time, how it spreads, how it shifts. It predicts the dance of particles through mists of maybe, and it never lies. Not once has nature disagreed with it. So as you drift deeper into rest, know this, the softness we've spoken of, the fog, the shimmer, the permission, is grounded. It floats, yes, but on a structure that holds. You are not sleeping in a world of chaos. You are sleeping in a world of flexibility, of patterns that make space for possibility. Tunneling feels like rebellion, but it is a lawful rebellion, like jazz. Improvisation that still respects the chord. In your cells, tunneling doesn't happen randomly. It depends on energy levels, on distances, on molecular shapes. It is calculable, predictable. It fits the rhythm. Even the stars know this. Even in the fire of their cores, the rate of fusion, the brightness of their glow, can be predicted from tunneling probabilities. Softness, yes, but not without structure. This, perhaps, is what the universe teaches us. That flexibility is not failure. That uncertainty does not erase truth. That even freedom dances to quiet mathematical music. And you are part of that dance. Your choices, your thoughts, they may feel spontaneous, but beneath them, your brain follows patterns. Neurons fire based on ions, which move based on particles, which tunnel based on probability. So even in your dreams, you hum with the same rules that shape the stars. You are the laws. You are the song. And the song is not rigid. It bends. It makes space. It allows. It responds. Tonight, you can let go of needing things to be certain. You can rest in the beauty of bounded freedom. The universe does not demand precision in every moment. It only asks that the melody continues. And it does. Even now, as you close your eyes, the wave functions still ripple. The atoms still shimmer. The rules still hold soft and steady. You are safe within their arms, not confined, cradled. For every wall you've seen, there has been a tunnel, not always taken, but always written in the music. But if tunneling bends space, could it bend time too? Could the improbable stretch across past and future, the way it slips through walls? Let's follow that question gently now, into the tunnel inside time. Does tunneling stretch time itself? Can it echo across moments? We gently glide into questions with no final answers. You explore a realm where cause and effect sometimes switch places, where what might happen shapes what does. Let time loosen, just for a while. Time flows forward, so we've always believed. One moment leads to the next, like steps on a quiet path, like beads sliding along a string. You are born, you grow, you change, and time ticks gently behind you, a soft rhythm you've never had to question. But now you begin to wonder. You've seen particles tunnel through walls they shouldn't cross. You've watched electrons slip between atoms without energy enough to jump. You felt the fog of possibility inside your own cells. And now you ask, if particles can break through space, can they also reach across time? The question hums in your mind, low and golden. It does not rush you. It does not need an answer. It only invites you to drift deeper. Let's go slowly. Time, in the quantum world, is not always a strict river. It can bend. It can stretch. It can even blur, the way light blurs through fog, the way memory softens at the edges. Physicists call this quantum indeterminacy, a softness not only in where, but in when. Picture a particle in a box. It sits quietly, its wave function contained. But open the box, and it may have already left, not just left the space, but acted as if it never waited at all. In some quantum systems, a particle seems to tunnel before it even begins. It appears as if part of it anticipates what's to come, a faint echo from the future, rippling backward to shape the now, not because time is reversed, but because the rules that govern such systems don't always distinguish between past and future. You feel that strangeness settle into you, not as confusion, but as awe. In our everyday world, cause must come before effect. You light the match, then the flame. You speak, then you are heard. But in quantum theory, cause and effect sometimes dance. A measurement taken now can determine the outcome of something set in motion earlier. The future shaping the past. It doesn't break logic. It stretches it. It suggests a deeper rhythm, one in which time, too, becomes fog. Let's pause here. Not everything about time in the quantum world is settled. Even physicists whisper when they speak of it, not from fear, but from reverence, because time at its core may not be a straight line. It may be a tapestry, woven not row by row, but all at once threads visible, invisible, emerging together. And tunneling somehow fits into this. In certain experiments, particles seem to cross barriers faster than they should, almost instantly. They are not moving faster than light. That rule still holds, but the time they spend inside the barrier appears to vanish. This is called the tunneling time problem. What does it mean for a particle to cross a wall without spending any time inside it? And what does it mean for us? You lie here, warm and listening, and you begin to feel something deep and strange. That maybe time, like space, has soft spots, tunnels, not shortcuts, but places where certainty bends. You think about moments in your life when something shifted before you could explain it, when an understanding arrived before the words, when a decision formed, quietly, as if already made. Could it be that time sometimes listens backwards? That the future is not a destination, but a shape that guides the present gently forward? Physics does not yet say this with confidence, but the math hints, the theories stir. The universe, as always, keeps some things folded in silence. Still, you feel the music of it. Not every motion takes time. Not every change needs steps. Sometimes, in the quantum world, being in two places at once also means being in two moments at once. Sometimes, the act of measuring, of witnessing, seals the past in place. Until then, the past itself may be a cloud. It's strange, and yet familiar. You felt time slow when you're lost in thought. You felt it leap forward when you're in love, or grief, or awe. You watch memory bend backward to find old doors. You've dreamed futures that felt more vivid than waking. Maybe quantum time simply whispers what you already know in your heart. That time is not only measured by clocks. It is also felt, lived, entangled, just like particles. You are not just passing through time. You are made of it. Your atoms tick with probabilities. Your cells carry echoes of ancient suns. Your mind stretches forward and backward, tunneling through memory and hope. So let yourself soften into that mystery. The past is not gone. The future is not waiting. All of it may be happening now. Waves overlapping in the dark. And somewhere in that dark, a particle is tunneling, not just through space, but through time. Its wave spreads in every direction, not just left and right, but before and after. And because of that motion, a star may shine, a neuron may fire, a moment may unfold that never would have. You do not need to solve this. You do not need to understand completely. Just feel the question settle like a warm blanket. Could time too shimmer? Could the impossible also happen across moments? Could your life, your choices, your dreams exist not in order, but in orbit? You are nearly at the edge now. The edge of knowing, the edge of dreaming. We have followed tunneling through stars, cells, and time itself. But before sleep fully carries you. Let's rest at the edge of the impossible, where rules hold gently and even stillness moves. Now you lie at the edge of certainty, in the hush between reality and dream. Tunneling shows you that even limits can shimmer, even walls can breathe. The universe holds its rules gently, allowing mystery to seep through. As you drift into sleep, remember, even when still, you are moving. Even when dreaming, your atoms remember how to defy. You are so still now. The world around you has softened to hush. The edges of the room are gone. Only the breath remains. In and out, slow and warm. There is no urgency, no questions to answer. Only this moment, this breath, this calm. And yet, inside this quiet, something extraordinary still stirs. You've wandered through atoms, drifted alongside tunneling particles, moved through walls, through stars, through time. And now, here at the edge of sleep, you rest at the edge of the impossible. Let us stay here together, just for a while. Let's not move too quickly. You lie in a body made of atoms, but those atoms do not sit still. Each one pulses with potential. Each one hums with movement, not in space alone, but in possibility. Your stillness is only surface. Within you, particles tremble with a quiet energy, their wave functions blooming outward like soft light. Even now, especially now your body is filled with motion that defies the obvious. We've learned together that barriers are not what they seem, that particles can cross what should be impassable, that electrons can appear where they've never been, that stars shine not because they force their way through, but because they follow the shape of what is allowed. That shape, that trembling possibility, is inside you too. You carry within you the physics of rebellion and the poetry of permission. You do not need to try to be miraculous. You already are, for inside every atom of you, tunneling may be happening right now. A flash of motion so soft, so small, you'll never feel it, but it's there. The whisper of maybe slipping gently into yes. You are not separate from the stars. You are not separate from the mystery. You are built from it. And now you lie in the perfect stillness of awareness. Not grasping, not chasing, just resting. So let's look once more gently at all we've seen. We began in the void, where the quantum world stirred beneath the silence of matter. We followed the dance of the smallest things, where electrons shimmer between here and there. We saw how particles pass through walls, not with noise, but with grace. We felt the fog of possibility, where being everywhere made motion through barriers not only possible, but inevitable. We listened to the whisper of a universe, the way it permits quiet defiance, not as an error, but as design. We entered the hearts of stars, where tunneling gives birth to light, where fusion flows from softness. Then we turned inward into your own cells, where electrons and protons do the impossible to keep you alive. We learned that the rules that hold it all together are not rigid bars, but flowing melodies, where even freedom sings in key. And we wondered, could tunneling stretch not just across space, but across time? Could motion, possibility, and light weave past and future together? And now we rest. We rest here at the edge of it all, the edge of knowing, the edge of waking, the edge where science becomes story, and story becomes sleep. Because ultimately, tunneling is not just a phenomenon, it is a promise that even the impossible can unfold if the conditions are just soft enough. You've seen that truth mirrored in your own life, haven't you? Moments you never thought you'd get through, paths you believed were closed, dreams that seemed out of reach. And yet, somehow, you arrived, not because you broke the rules, but because the rules were never as solid as they seemed. They had breath. They had curve. They had space for you. Tunneling is not a breaking. It's a remembering. Remembering that limits are often illusions, that stillness is often motion, that mystery is not a gap in knowledge, but the very soil in which meaning grows. Right now, you are doing nothing, and yet everything continues. Your breath, your cells, your thoughts, your quantum self, gently flickering through walls no one else can see. Resting is not absence. It is permission. In this rest, the body repairs. In this quiet, the mind rewrites. In this stillness, the universe continues to tunnel forward. So what does it mean, then, to live in a universe like this? It means you are never truly stuck. It means nothing is ever truly solid. It means that inside every impasse, there may be a path not obvious, but waiting, the tunnel, and that tunnel may be dark, it may be silent, it may be invisible, but it is there, and you just by being are already moving through it. Tonight, as sleep draws closer, let go of everything you must understand. Let go of what you should become. Let the sharpness of certainty dissolve, and trust that the softness will hold you, because softness is what holds everything. The stars, the atoms, the rules. You are part of a universe that breathes possibility, that allows particles to leap through locked doors, that creates warmth from nothing but proximity and chance. And that same universe allows you, just as you are. You do not need to force anything. You do not need to resist the wall. Let your waves stretch gently and trust that, if it is allowed, you will arrive on the other side. That's what the particle does. That's what the sun does. That's what your breath is doing now. So sleep now not as escape, but as arrival. You've reached the edge of the impossible, and beyond it, only more mystery, more softness, more shimmering paths through walls we never thought we'd pass. You are still. You are safe. You are moving. Even now, close your eyes now. The story is complete, but the journey continues. In your dreams, the rules will still bend. The particles will still tunnel. The stars will still shine. And your atoms, quiet and listening, will remember how to defy. Gently, softly, always.